Hello everyone. So today we will be solving another question on lead code, which is next permutation. So what we have to do in this problem is that from all the possible permutation of a given number, which is 123 in this case, we have to find the next greater element, which will going to be 132. So how can we approach this problem? Let's move on to the screen. Let me move us this. So let's take this example 11541. So we will going to solve this question into in three phases. So the first phase will going to be, first what we have to find that digit which is just less than its next element. Why we are doing this? Because we have to find the next greater element in a lexicographical order. So we will change that element which has the highest value, because this is unit digit, this is 10th digit. So we have to change that digit which has the highest value. So what first we will find that this digit. So first phase of our algorithm will going to be this only. So what we will do, we will start traversing from the array, and we will check. We will start from 4. This is this is length of array minus 2th index, n minus 2th index. So what we will do, we will start traversing the array, and we will check whether this element is greater than or equals to I, or greater than or equals to I plus 1 or not. So after checking this, if condition satisfy, we will move on. We will move on to 5. Now again we will check, because 5 is greater than 4, so we will move to the next element, which is going to be 1, which is less than 1. So we will able to find this element which is just less than its next element. So now what we will do, we will swap this element with the element which is just greater than 1 in the remaining array. Why we are doing this? Because we want to find the next greater element. We don't want to find that element which is greater than this element. We have to find the element which is just greater than element. So what we will do, we will we will take a variable j. Suppose we have taken a variable j, and we have initialized it to the n minus 1, and we will start checking and condition that is this number is greater than or 1 or not. So 1 is not greater than this 1. So we will move to the next element, which will going to be 4. So 4 is greater than 1. So we will able to find this index, which is 1 2 3 4 5. So 5 is the length of this array. So third index. So third is the index of 4. So after finding this index, what we will do, we will swap these two elements, because we have to find the next greater element. So we will swap those two numbers, these two numbers, because 4 is just greater than 1. If we swap 5 with 1, uh, if we swap 1 with 5, then that number that will come will not going to be the just greater element. It will going to be greater element, but it is not the just greater element. So after swiping this number, our array become 1 4 5 1 1. But this is not just greater element. So now what we have to do, we have arrived. So our next phase will going to be swiping this number. First we have find the index which is just greater than, which is just less than its next element. So after doing that, our next phase will going to be uh, find the number which is just greater than 1 in the remaining array, which is 541 in this case. After finding this, we will arrive to this number, which is 14511. This is not the just greater element. Now for finding just greater element, what we will do, we will minimize these less weighted digits, because we have to find just greater number. So we will try to minimize this 511. So how can we minimize this number? We will reverse this array. So our first phase of algorithm, what we are we are first finding the element which is just less than its next element. After doing that, what we will do, we will start traversing from the end of the array so that we can find the element which is just greater than 4, which is just greater than 1. Why we are finding just greater than 1? Because we have to find just greater element, because there will be so many greater elements. But if we start swiping randomly, we will we can get the number which is not just greater element, it can be second greater element. So after finding the number, which is just greater than 5, which is just less than 5, what we will do, the, we will swipe these two elements after traversing into the array. Now what we will do, we will minimize this end digit by reversing the array. So first finding the number, then swiping the number, and then we will reverse the array. So uh, in this way we can solve this question very easily. So now let's start coding. So what we have to reverse the array and we have to swipe the number as well. So let's write those function first. Private void swap int nums nums int a int b temp equals to nums a nums a equals to nums b nums b equals to 10. So now let's write another function which is private void reverse. So we will take an array in this as well, and we will take in a start index, you will soon know. So we will find uh, end index, because we have to reverse, so we have to start reversing from the end. So it will going to be nums dot length minus 1. Now we will while start is greater than end, we will swap while started less than end, swap equals to nums start. After this we have to start plus plus and minus minus to move our pointers. Now after reversing the array, we will arrive to the condition where start and end will facing each other. In this facing each other, in this case it will going to be start and end come to 5 and 1, and we will reverse these elements. Now what we will do, we will write our main function. So in the main function, what we have to do in the first place, we have to find the index, which we have to find the element which is just less than its next element. So we will start doing by start traversing the array from the end. So not from the end, from 4, because we have to compare it with 1 as well. So int I is equals to nums dot length minus 2. Now while I is greater than is equals to 0, we have to check this so that we can, because index bound condition can come. So and I is greater than equals to 0, and nums of I greater than equals to nums I plus 1. We will do I minus minus. After doing this, we will able to reach to the element which is just less than 5. Now after this, what we will going to do, now we have to find the element which is just greater than 1 in the remaining array. So we will check if his I is greater than equal to 0. Now we will initialize a variable j to nums dot, because we have to check from the end. Now what we will do, we will start traversing into the array while j is greater than 0, because we have to find in the remaining array. So j should be greater than I, and nums of I should be greater than equal to nums of j. In this way, after traversing into the loop, we will able to find the element which is just greater than 1. So nums j is greater than I, nums of I is greater than or equal to nums of j. Nums of I, which is 4 in this case, is just nums of I, which is 1, is just greater than 4, which is just greater than in the remaining array. So we are checking what we are checking. Let me explain it again. So currently our I is 1, so we have to run the loop until and unless this element becomes smaller than this element, smaller than any element in this given array. So this is the condition we have applied in this while loop. So after this, we will do swap. We will able to find the element j minus minus. So now we have find the index which is just greater than 1, which is just greater than 1, which will going to be 4 in this case. Now what we will do, we will swap these two elements, swap nums I and j. Now after swiping these two numbers, what we have to do, we have to reverse the array as well. So in the end, what we will do, we will reverse the remaining array nums, reverse the array. Start index will be I plus 1, because start index from 5, so which will going to be I plus 1, because I is currently 1. So we have to start reversing the array from I plus 1th index. So code is looking fine now. We have written two functions, swap and reverse. After that, we have written our main function. So let's comment it out also. Initializing I with the second last index, finding the index at which the element is just less than the next element. After finding this, here we are what we are finding the index at which the element is just greater than the element at I. So after that, swapping number at I and j. Now for minimizing the number we have to sort the array as well. Short, we have to reverse the array or short the array as well. So let's start to run this code. Okay, so what's the problem? Let me check. Okay, should be 8. Reverse. Oh, another typo. Okay, all the test cases has been accepted. So let's try to submit this code. Okay, so we have solved this question. So thank you. See you in the next video.